Welcome to Dental Business RX. Practice success in 30 minutes or less.
Thank you for calling ABC Dental.
If there's one thing you can say about marketing is that it's always changing. And it's one of these things that if you want to stay on top of your game and get a consistent, steady flow of new patients, you need to change with it. Well, there are some changes that MGE clients have made over the last 5 or 6 years. These are things that we've been teaching, where we've seen these clients double, triple, quadruple, or more their new patients in a very short period of time. And that's what I want to talk about, these specific actions that they're doing in this week's episode. My name is Jeff Bloomberg, and I'm your host. And I'm joined this week by a special guest, Mr. Dan Brown. Now, you may know Dan from prior episodes if you've been listening to us for a while, including he's done episodes on new marketing trends as well as website construction, how to design your website properly. And Dan is a partner at Bloomberg Digital, which is a premier digital dental marketing company. Dan is also a speaker here at MGE. He's our primary speaker at the MGE New Patient Workshop. You also see him at a number of our other seminars. And I think we have you all hooked up there, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. So I think we should just jump right out of the gate here. So, we start off going, how do you double, triple, quadruple your new patients? What is the main thing that you've been implementing here where you've seen this immediate jump?
Sure. So, thanks for letting me come talk again.
Yeah.
I think really the main thing is what we call social proof.
Okay.
Social proof is the short version of it is what the consumer says about a company rather than what the company says about a company.
So what type of things would be considered social proof?
Sure. Social proof would be, first and foremost, reviews. That would be on Google, Yelp, Facebook. Another thing which is very important, before and after photos, video testimonials, anything that is adding credibility to the company without the company itself stating so.
Okay, that's a good definition. So anything that's adding credibility to the company, but the consumer is saying it, not the company themselves.
And it could even be outside of the consumer. If you are a platinum level Invisalign provider and you get awarded for that, or even silver or gold or anything, having that plaque up is someone saying, hey, this practice knows what they're doing on the subject of Invisalign.
I see.
Even a community acknowledgement, hey, this is one of the best places to work for this year in this town, or this place of business has helped us with these community activities or charities. It's, again, someone else talking about this company, its endeavors, its people, its culture, rather than the company flying its own flag saying, hey, we're awesome, we're great.
Right. Now, you know what's interesting about that? I'm just thinking this as you're talking because, I've been doing this a while. And, it used to be the average general dentist, would try to sponsor their little league team, which I think is cool to do in and of itself. But you see folks sponsoring their little league team or doing different types of sponsorships, mainly as a new patient grab, right? Well, if I have my logo on the back of the kids' jerseys, I don't know if it ever went that far. I think the sponsorship went somewhere. But that doesn't necessarily accredit you in the consumer's mind as a dentist, does it? It's all you know is I sponsored the little league team. I'm a nice person.
Could be, or this is an opportunity for me to get more business. And some people look at it that way.
Sure.
Like, okay, good. I still, if you're sponsoring a Little League team, I would continue to do so.
No, don't stop sponsoring Little League. I was just using that as an example.
But it's 100%. That's how a consumer thinks today. Really differently than the consumer thought 20 years ago, or like you and I, Jeff, when we really got into consumership, 30 years ago, 35 years ago, you go out to buy a car.
Right.
You'd go to the lot, you kick a few tires, you talk to some people. And today when people arrive to a car lot, they are 100%, or not 100%, but they're about, by survey, 92% through the sales process from having done research, looked online, videos, reviews, these sort of things. And they come with questions that often the salespeople can't even answer because they're so specific.
Right. Social
Proof, online credibility, it's a different scope today. And, what we're going to talk about in this episode is how that applies to a dental office.
Right. This is fascinating because I hadn't even thought about it from that perspective. Someone's trying to do almost what we would consider public relations. I'm sponsoring this or that, which obviously, like Dan said, keep sponsoring those things. I'm not trying to tell you not to, but That doesn't necessarily make me think you're a good dentist. But if I see you got an award as a platinum Invisalign provider, or I see things that are related to your profession or the credibility of your office, you're a great employer, you have a great company culture, or patients really love you, say that you're gentle when you treat them and things like this, that does make the difference now.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
Huge difference. I take it and I look at it from this perspective. Always in marketing, think like the consumer first.
Okay.
When you have a marketing company, it's getting your postcard designed, you're getting your website designed, you have these people who are quote unquote professionals and they're specialists. And maybe they truly are in the subject of design and coding a site and all that stuff. So no doubt. But they often kind of get cookie cutterish with regards to their design templates. Mm-hmm. And we lose touch with, well, how does a consumer look at things? So if you start marketing with the eyes of looking at this website, this postcard, this Google ad, this Facebook post through the eyes of consumer. And some of our clients go, yeah, but I don't know that I can do that. I'm a dental professional. I've been doing this for so long.
Sure.
So what I say, okay, good. Well, how many of you are active as consumers on Amazon? Mm-hmm. Most, just about everybody will say, yeah, I routinely or somewhat, often shop on Amazon. And then I ask the next question, great. How many of you are depending upon the reviews to make or finalize your decision in the products you go searching for? 9 out of 10 people.
Right. Yeah, well, I think I'd fall into that category too. At least look, if I see something in the reviews, the rating's 2.3, I'm probably going to look at why.
Or you're out.
Right.
You're going to look at the next product or service that's on the, on your search page that brought that up. You go searching for, replacement ironing board.
Right.
Okay. Well, you see something that's got 5 stars, 15 reviews, and then you see something just below it that has 475 stars or reviews and is 4.6 stars.
Right.
Which one are you going to choose?
Most likely the 4.6, because they probably know 15 people that could put up a fake review.
100%.
But they don't know that many people, 400 and however many, that are going to, including bad ones.
And many people think just like you just now, which makes you more qualified than most marketing graduates out of college or design specialists because they don't think like you just thought.
Well, I think people mix up, not to go off in the weeds here, but if someone designs something nicely, like there's a definite difference between a designer and a marketer.
Correct. And
I think people conflate the two are the same thing.
That's true.
Or they design things really nice. Designer's an artist. They're a technician and an artist, right? But marketer, really what you want with a marketer is someone who can sell something. So in order to sell, you have to be able to think with who you're selling to.
And quickly.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Right.
So today's consumer, when they go search, believe it or not, dentists near me, and they're looking down their search engine results page, and they see this office that has 25 reviews, and they see another office that has 475 reviews. They'll pass by the one with 25 reviews. They'll, well, listen, that's probably the guy's relatives, a couple friends.
Yeah, their staff.
Right. So that's social proof. That's where it starts. And I would say the first and most powerful aspect of social proof is online reviews, which, we cover on the workshop really extensively, how to add 10 to 15 reviews organically every week. It's not tough. These are not paid for. There's nothing weird about it.
You even give them like a step-by-step checklist for this too. And we'll put it, and by the way, he's talking about the new patient workshop. We'll put a link to it on the episode webpage.
Yeah. And even if the team is a bit distracted and overworked and overloaded right now, they can still, we're seeing our graduates from the workshop adding 5 to 10 reviews every single week. So just do the math on that. You add 10 reviews a week.
$250 a year. Well, even if you're in 5, $250 a year. In 2 years, you got 500. You probably got more than anybody else in town.
That's it. So important. And just do this. What I tell our clients to do, just go read your reviews at your morning production meeting. Always read a couple of the reviews from this week.
The good ones.
Yeah.
Not the bad ones.
Not the bad ones.
No.
Bad ones are going to happen.
Yeah.
You've covered that. The bad ones are going to happen. We don't avoid that. 35% of people don't trust a business that doesn't have a negative review.
Right. Same thing. That's sketchy. This person paid people to give them reviews from Review Farm or something like this. Yeah.
Right. So don't go rushing off to get a negative review if you haven't got one. It'll come, but and we'll show you how to deal with it when or if it does. But the most important thing is after about 150 reviews, people go, okay, good. There's no way they could fake that many. So 150 reviews is the very floor minimum.
That's like the magic number.
That's the magic number.
What would you tell? And we did an episode on this a while back, you and me, on adding reviews. Because if you guys haven't heard that one, I forgot to mention that when I mentioned the episodes you'd been on, was how to get more reviews, which I think was several months ago. But you guys should check it out. You'll see it. Dan was on that one, and Dan actually explains how to do it. But what's the magic? So 150 is the magic number.
That's the magic minimum.
Floor.
Yeah.
What's like I'm doing all right?
Great question. Best answered by searching dentist in city, state.
Okay.
And then looking at what comes up, or if you're a cosmetic dentist in city, state, or zip, and then who's got the most?
So I'm looking at, I just did that, and then usually the first search results or hits I'm going to get, I have to be searching on Google for this, obviously. Because do people use Yahoo anymore?
They use Yahoo. They use Bing. Bing is about to become a major contender. They've just announced a massive AI.
Didn't their AI flip out and do something? I think both Google and Bing's AI. Nobody's been able to keep up with ChatGPT, but I think Bing's AI went psychotic or something like this.
But I think Bing's got something up their sleeve. So so all of it. But even when you're searching on Yahoo,
but if I could ask, who is Bing getting the reviews from? Because I know Yahoo was getting the reviews from Facebook at one point.
Yahoo is now Yelp. Bing is now Yelp.
Interesting.
So
so people have to care about Yelp.
You got to. I know.
So Google's Google.
Yeah.
But if I search on Bing or Yahoo, I'm getting Yelp's reviews.
Same on Safari, Apple Safari.
If I just use like Apple Safari search?
Yeah, Safari search. Or if you're using Apple Maps to navigate to the practice.
That's Yelp.
It's going to bring up your Yelp reviews.
Wow.
We've literally had clients that have great Google reviews. And then the person's all excited to come to their appointment. They're going to get their new veneers appointment. They get in the car. They punch in their address. On Apple Maps, not Google Maps, right? Apple Maps.
Sure.
And then the Yelp reviews come up, and maybe the person's only gotten 15 in their lifetime.
Sure.
12 of which have been dumped in the unrecommended bin, so they don't count.
Right.
And the 3 that are there, 2 of them are negative and 1's positive.
So they have like a 1.8 rating or something.
And the person turns around and cancels the appointment.
So you've had actual cases of that?
100%.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So they have to care about Yelp and Google. Is Facebook as big of a deal anymore as far as reviews?
Not as big of a deal, but when you were just talking about tapping into your community and leveraging your community, it's so powerful. It's things we talk about and things that, is subject to a different podcast. But when you're doing that, now you're getting into Facebook groups and community groups. Sure. Then it's very important to have your Facebook reviews.
Okay. So then if we're looking at social proof, right? And I'm kind of asking this for myself and for everybody else, just so we can kind of deconstruct this, right?
Sure.
So my first thing's reviews. I have to care about my Google reviews, and I got to care about my Yelp reviews. Yeah. So obviously, one thing that the folks should know, I know this part, which is you have a Yelp page whether you know it or not. Whether you know it or not, you do. And you need to claim it. And if you claim it, make sure that you have the password to the page. Do not give it to a staff member who may eventually quit. I've seen people's Yelp pages and Facebook pages and other social media pages get taken hostage. So you should have access to it. You can always give somebody the ability to log in or whatever.
Delegate
that's fine.
junior administrative rights. Yeah.
But they're going to have to worry about Yelp and Google with Facebook as the junior consideration.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So that's the biggie.
It's a biggie.
Okay.
Reviews. And on that point, I'm just going to say this finally on that point. People say, well, okay, good, but I want to really make sure that the things that they say are the right things. And do I tell the patient what to say? So you can't ever ask for a positive review. You can only ask for an honest review. Show you how in the workshop. The part about the patient saying certain things, there's a way you ask that person for a review will actually take care of that. What they say in response and what they write in that review is very important. I'm going to tell you this because Google is indexing every things said in the review being left. So if
On
the patient,
planet Earth.
yeah.
That's not scary at all.
No,
But go
not at
ahead.
all.
Yeah. Okay. And then we're adding AI to it. This is going to be awesome.
So
No problem.
a patient says, this is the best dentist I've ever been to. This is the most pain-free dentistry I've ever had. I've overcome my anxiety about dentistry because of this great team. They're friendly, they're professional, and I can't say it enough. I'm in no pain. I've just had 3 implants.
And this is the patient saying
This is the patient
because
saying this
everything
in
this
their
patient
review.
has just said the dentist could never say. That'd be illegal.
Yeah, the dentist can't say we're pain-free dentistry.
Right.
But the patient can, and they
Right.
do.
Okay.
Go read your reviews. They're saying it. They're so appreciative of your team's care, of your team's passion, of your team's compassion, of your team's friendly approach to help that person through a potentially traumatic subject in their life. And then couple that with the doctor's great clinical skills and the hygienist's great clinical skills, and just watch what they write. And that's why I say again, read these at the morning production meeting. Inspire your team. Really remind them of how important what they do is and the changes they're creating in other people's lives. So the person will say these things, but everything they say in that review is being indexed by Google. So when somebody types in best dentist, implants, pain-free dentistry,
Right.
that is being indexed. So I very much encourage to not only ask for these reviews, but to ask for it in such a fashion that will elicit that person's true experience. And they spend 2 minutes to share their thoughts and just watch what comes in. I can already say this, many of the listeners here, I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever had someone come in and said, listen, part of why I'm here is because I've read your reviews? And if the answer is yes to that, then you already know the power of this. There are many people who have read your reviews. They've snooped you,
Right.
and you don't know it. That's all part of what the purchaser does today. We're snoopers. We
Right.
snoop businesses out. We snoop products and services out because we've all been burned. Social proof is our protection mechanism so that we don't get burned. You can have a 13-year-old drop a great website with a landing page, videos, with AI speakers that look amazing, and it's all fictitious. There's
Right.
nothing valid there. We've all been burned. We've ordered the hamburger off the menu that looks one way on the menu and it comes a different way. So we've all been burned. Social proof is our protection. What do other people say about the experience, the product, the service, the dental office, et cetera, rather than what the office says?
And if enough other people say it. That's why, it's funny because there's another site I used to use. I don't use it anymore. TripAdvisor. You ever use that site?
Sure.
Okay. And, you'll look at a hotel somewhere you're going and they got all the photos of the hotel that the hotel takes. I mean, the truth is with photography, even without AI, but with photography and Photoshop, you can pretty much make anything look like anything.
Amazing.
Especially today,
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
So years back, I used to use this and I wouldn't look at those photos. I'd look at the traveler photos because, they'll show this is this hotel room and this bathroom. And then the traveler's like, look at the roaches. And, because then you can see, okay, here's what's really going on. But again, that didn't give me a 100% guarantee that it wasn't going to be the way I wanted or was going to be the way I wanted. But it's almost like it's layers of protection, as you're saying. It's not going to give me 100% protection, but maybe 85% protection, and I feel more comfortable going into that environment now.
Social proof. That's
Interesting.
social proof. And on that point, some people say, yeah, but I've got negative reviews. And what if somebody, sorts my reviews by the negative ones and then judges my business on that? I ask you this question. The person who sees 200, 250, 300 reviews, of which there's 5, 10, 15 negative, and decides to judge the business on those 5, 10 or negative reviews, do you want that person in your practice?
No, that person's not a smart person, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I read negative reviews, and usually the perspective, again, I'm putting my consumer hat on as you're talking to me.
Sure.
But usually I look at them and go, what is negative about them? So let's say it's a restaurant. Okay, well, the service was slow. Well, I could probably deal with that. I'm ordering takeout. What do I care? The food was good. Everybody says the food's good. This one guy said the service was slow, or the waitress was rude, or it's stupid stuff. I can get over that. But I think most people can.
Most consumers are, and I'll say this. Most people understand that nobody's perfect. Everybody has a bad hair day. No business can ever be expected to hit it on the nose. That's why, when you got the negative reviews, you must respond to them, which again, we cover in the workshop exactly without violating HIPAA.
Yeah, that's a trick.
But you got to take up the concerns because there might be one thing that just triggers a person and nope, that's it. I'm out. So the response to the negative review is very important, but analytical, sane people who are decent people will go, oh, yeah, that seems reasonable and move on. The people who judge your business based off of that one circumstance or those few reviews, you don't want that.
They're going to be a problem.
They're going to be
a problem.
That's it.
But now, so we're saying, all right, so reviews sort of the top of the tip of the spear here as far as social proof. What type of, because we're talking about the increases our clients have seen. What kind of calls just generate as far as if the person has decent reviews in place? Like what's the best case scenario that you've seen?
Probably a 10x increase in organic traffic.
So they were getting 10 phone calls a day just randomly. Now they're getting 100 calls a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And many of our clients say the number of people who are marching in through the door or setting appointments coming in for larger cases. And I'm going to touch on that here in a second because this is probably the most impactful. But the number of people who actually come in and say, I'm here because I've read your reviews is overwhelming.
Interesting.
After they put in our system. So
this is something that you would recommend. We've talked about get more reviews or whatever. This isn't like it would be cool. This is something you have to do right now.
Top of the heap. This is nothing more important. And it's factually, free. Right. There's no cost.
Just time.
It's a little bit of time. It's a bit of a method. So that's the method of going and getting these reviews we could show, but it's so important. And I often say that's first base. Okay. That's the first thing to work on. And that's where somebody goes searching. They're looking for the number of reviews, your star rating. And now you've got the person's attention. They'll come check out your profile on Google or your profile on Facebook, your profile on
your
Yelp,
website.
And then that would be where second base is for social proof.
Okay. And so what would you say second base is? So they go to your website, but what's the social? I mean, there's obviously your new patient offer and all that jazz, but what's the social proof aspect of the website?
Middle of the homepage, 2 sets of before and after photos.
Okay. And any particular cases that you would put up there?
Great question. Totally dependent upon what that practice wants more of. You want more implants, you're going to have a case of implant before and after. You want more veneers, you're going to have a case of that. Always good to put some sort of smile reconstruction, whitening, chipped teeth, cracked teeth. Again, think like a consumer. Consumer may not even need those things, but when they see the magic that dentists do today, sometimes these people have no clue of what clinical skill is available to change a mouth from this to that.
Or maybe they have a bunch of crowding and they weren't even thinking, they don't need to get their teeth straightened, but that makes them want to get their teeth straightened. Yeah.
So 2 sets of before and after photos. I always suggest this is a mouth photo, a smile photo. So this is up close. You don't need a pro camera for this. You don't need to do anything special. You just want to do the before and after photo.
Do you want the mouth retracted when they take it?
You could do that. Sometimes that's necessary. But if you do that, you're going to crop out the retractors. That scares people.
Yeah. That always looks a bit like weird.
It kind of looks like that's a cadaver.
Clockwork orangey.
This patient.
Yeah. For promo, I wouldn't do it. Obviously, for clinical stuff,
Clinical, absolutely. So if you're going to retract, then just crop out the retractors. And you're always going to need the HIPAA release for marketing purposes. Now, this is different than a normal HIPAA release. So we offer that at the new patient workshop, and it is a template. Obviously, it needs to be checked with local
state laws differ.
Correct.
And we're going to offer that as a download this week, right?
100%.
Okay. Yeah. Just threw that at the end there. Yeah. So we'll put it on the episode webpage if you want a sample HIPAA release, because this is something you really need to get going on. And they could, in theory, they just finished a great case. And maybe the patient didn't sign one. They could always contact, hey, I'd like to use your before and after photos. Hopefully you're taking before and after photos.
Hopefully.
If not, start.
Yeah.
And start rolling with it.
Yeah. I always recommend it's a good thing to do just it's a clinically sound practice. You know, I'm not a clinician, but it just makes a lot of sense. Sometimes a patient might have other claims of this or that. It's always good to document your clinical action.
Absolutely.
So, but for marketing purposes, it's real simple. And you get a workflow in place. I would have a practice phone or a practice iPhone, iPad, something like that, tablet. And this just remains at the practice. There's no SIM card in it. It's just connected to the cloud and with auto backup so that if the phone or tablet grows legs and disappears, all your photos and content and such is backed up and you could just quickly do a restore from a backup. But it could be an Android. It could be an iPhone. I often tell our clients, don't turn in your old iPhone for the new one and get the $300 trade value. Just hold on to it.
Not a bad idea.
Pay for your new phone in full and keep that one, remove the SIM card and just keep it as a practice phone, label it as such. And you use that, just take your before and after photos in the same place with the same lighting.
And this is assuming they don't have like an iPhone 1.
Assuming they
Like, I don't know how old your iPhone is, but like what do I have? The 13. I mean, the camera on that thing is unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So much more than what is really needed. I know some of our clients go, well, listen, I don't know about the margins here. That, you know what? Think like the consumer. Consumer just doesn't see what you see. And I really appreciate your clinical profession and perfection. I love those standards. I really do. The consumer won't see that.
Okay.
And all you want to make sure is that there's no blood on the teeth. You know, do your best to, you know, get a clean smile on the after photo. And sometimes people go, oh no, I forgot to get the before. Good. Ask that patient. Say, hey, you know, a lot of people are sitting on the fence thinking about the procedure you just did. And they're sitting on the fence because they had a past bad experience at another dentist, or they're just afraid of needles and drills and they think it's going to be horrible. Would you help us help those people make the right decision by sharing your story a little bit? And we're going to do that with a before and after photo. And then we're going to do a quick video testimonial. That's third base, by the way.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just want you to think about how you felt about things before you came in, what the experience was like, and then share to the person who's too scared to come in here or is too embarrassed to come in here, and just kind of give your version of your experience here at ABC Family Dentistry. Would you do that for that person out there? Because there's 1 in 3 people in America don't go to the dentist because of this reason.
All right. So just let me catch up with where we are here. So you're doing before and afters. If you forget a before, you maybe ask them if they have one or whatever.
Got one on your phone that you can send
something. And you just to finish, you have 2 on the website on the homepage, 2 before
cases.
and afters. Now, is that going to link to a page of a bunch of before and afters?
Immediately beneath those 2 cases, the cases are laid out in a side-by-side fashion, before on the left, after on the right.
Okay.
A little description beneath the 2 photos of what the patient did so that the person knows in layman's terms.
Got it.
No dental speaking.
We replace this, replace their missing teeth, blah, blah, blah.
And Judy is so happy with her new smile.
Okay.
So it's really, that's marketing today.
Okay.
And then another case beneath that, before on the left, after on the right,
Okay.
description of what was done in layman's terms. And then beneath that, a big button says, click here to see more of our miracles.
Got it. So then you can go to another page and then there's a bunch of them.
Call that Smile Gallery in Canada. We call that a case study page. We don't do before and after photos. We do case studies in Canada because there's just different regulations up in Canada.
Yeah, Canada marketing laws they're kind of sensible, I have to admit, but they are different. So if you're a Canadian listener, just keep that in mind. Okay. So then that's the second base, before and after photos. Now we're getting into third base you're talking about, which is we're asking for a video testimonial.
And it ties in with how we ask for the before and after photos. Because a lot of people, when you ask for the before and after photo, ideally you're getting a up-close smile photo, but you're also getting the face.
Okay.
You're stepping back in the face. And that's where you're going to get some pushback sometimes. I don't have my makeup on. Oh, I really need to lose some weight. I don't know that I'm dressed right. And that's where you got to reach over and say, you know what, Jill, you know what, Mr. Williams, you look fantastic, but I'm going to tell you this. We're all our own worst critics, first of all. Second of all, people that are going to see this, they're not here to necessarily judge you. And if they are, we don't want them as patients. The people who are going to look at this and listen to your message, because I'm about to ask you to share your experience in a video testimonial, these are people who are thinking about doing what you have just completed, but they don't yet have the courage and confidence to do so. And it's what I'm asking you to do, Mr. Williams, is not just be an ambassador for ABC Family Dentistry, us. I'd like your help to be an ambassador for general oral health, because 1 in 3 Americans don't go to the dentist. Not that they don't go to the dentist routinely. They don't go to the dentist.
Yeah, at all.
At all. And this is because of common reasons, that we all know, you clients, you all know, past bad experience, afraid of needles, afraid of drills, too expensive, and just simple ignorance. They don't understand what's either available in dentistry or, they just don't know the impact of not going to the dentist. So, Mr. Williams, will you help those people out there who are kind of on the fence or too scared to do what you've just done? Oh, yeah, I'll help them out.
And then, so let's say you've gotten me to agree to do a video testimonial. So where are we doing this? What type of lighting do I need? Like, I think this is where people look at it. And obviously some people listening probably do this, but it seems a bit overwhelming because, we look at some of the videos we've taken on our own. They look like garbage, that even though it's this great iPhone camera, and then you'll see somebody else take a video and it looks great. Like my daughter-in-law is a professional photographer. So she takes a picture with an iPhone and it looks, and I just take lots of pictures because then I imagine one of them is not going to be terrible. Yeah, right? Yeah. But how am I setting this up? Where am I putting this person? What am I doing?
Yeah. Great. So probably more than what we could cover here fully in this podcast. Okay. So, but I'm going to cover the broad strokes.
Yeah, just broad strokes.
Okay. Broad strokes. Anything is better than nothing.
Okay.
First thing, just get it. Anywhere, anyhow, using anything you can. And I want you to use your phone. I want you to pull out your phone. I do want you to hold your phone sideways, not vertically.
Okay, so I'm holding it so it's like a long rectangle rather than an upright rectangle.
That's right.
Like portrait style versus landscape versus portrait.
Instead of portrait, right?
Yeah.
So the reason being is that, when we do it portrait style, upright, we can do that on social media, maybe easier, but it's hard to turn that into a video that we can easily use on your website, which we probably will.
Or YouTube.
YouTube, which we probably will. I can take a landscape video and make it portrait. I could trim the sides off that for social media. So I am going to ask that you hold the phone sideways. I'm going to ask that you put your phone into airplane mode so that if a phone call comes in during the recording and the person's pouring their heart out about how amazing the change is and they're actually shedding a tear, that we don't end that recording because a call's coming in and lose that recording and then have to back up and say, Mrs. Jenkins, would you mind just doing this again for me? And remember that part where you cried? Can you do that again?
Yeah.
No, we're not going to do that.
So this is where it's ideal to get a practice phone that is just connected to the internet and it's not a phone.
That's right.
Got it.
So, but if you're doing it on your phone, just put it in airplane mode first. Hit the record button, ask a question, and then shut up.
What kind of question?
So, Mrs. Jenkins, tell me about your experience here at ABC Family Dentistry. Then you're looking at her right over the phone. Your eyes are met with her eyes, and she might be talking to you, looking into your eyes, and that's fine. And she tells her story. First couple questions might be uncomfortable because some people can't do this very easily.
Sure.
After she finishes telling about her experience at ABC, great, thank you for that. You give her a little bit of space before you acknowledge her so the video editor can cut that. We're probably going to cut your questions out of that. But great. Mrs. Jenkins, so you got some new veneers. Can you tell a little bit about why you want to get those veneers? And then what do you think about your new veneers? Whatever. There's no pat question.
You're trying to elicit their thoughts on why they came to you, what benefits they saw, and how it affects them, basically.
That's it. And in about 30 seconds, that person is rolling. They've forgotten about the phone. They're telling their story, and you are capturing it. You are not saying, yeah, aw. You're not doing that in the middle of that recording. The reason being is that your mouth is closer to the microphone than hers is.
Got it.
And it's going to overpower her message. It's going to be distracting to her message. You are going to be nodding. You're going to be, giving her a smile. And you capture, it could be 30 seconds. It could be 2 minutes. Sometimes these things roll even longer. We're probably not going to use a 5-minute testimony. So once we have that, we might chop that up a little bit and just take the salient points, the key points. But the problem isn't what we call the post-production of that. of sending it to an editor.
Right, or
and
having
chopping.
somebody edit it up.
That's pennies, and it's not your problem. There's professionals that can do that for, almost no money compared to the value of that message.
When I see in a lot of these offices, because of the software that's even available on a mobile device, editing a video is simple.
Totally
You
simple.
probably could have one of your staff do it, one of your younger staff who's more tech savvy or whatever. Maybe you have someone who's not like 20 and they're 40 and they're tech savvy. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Just ask them. Say, hey.
But I'm just thinking of one client in particular whose 16-year-old son does most of his editing.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And most practices have a person who's on TikTok or on Instagram, and they use an app called CapCut, CapCut, CapCut. Very simple video editing software. There's about 10 of them out there, but CapCut, super simple. Do a YouTube tutorial on it for about 20 minutes and you're a master.
Got it.
Take that video, chop it up, and you've got a testimonial that you can post immediately on your Google business profile, on your social media, on your website. And, I had one of our clients who attended the new patient workshop, got the full tutorial on how to do this, had a patient come in, and he had to go to another room. So he handed his phone to his assistant. She didn't attend the workshop. She shot the video upright. It was, poor background, poor audio. And I said, listen, doctor, I've got a video editor. She'll trim this thing up and make it, as good as it can be. Put some music on it, put your logo on it, a call to action at the end. He spent $200 to have it edited. He said he's made over $120,000 from that testimonial video alone.
Wow. So maybe that like guerrilla filming style that the assistant did. I'm kidding.
Right.
Like the Blair Witch filming style.
The thing is it's family dentistry. People today, they don't want Aspen.
Well, they know if I think, and again, this is the same thing. If I get a newsletter from a company, and I know that this company paid some other big company for a canned newsletter, I'm like, whatever, I just toss it, right? Yeah. If I get some ratty looking newsletter that I know was put out by that organization and they made it themselves, I'll probably read it.
Isn't it true?
It is weird. People are looking, I think, for more genuineness and reality these days.
100%.
They're not looking for, the slick, corporate, glossy, whatever. They just want a connection.
100%.
Yeah.
So
now,
true.
Here's what I want to do real quick. I want to unpack a little bit about what you said there, just because I'm thinking with, and maybe I'm overthinking this, but I'm thinking with what, if I'm a listener, what I'd be thinking with.
Sure.
So just to kind of really understand this. So I get how to get the video made.
Yep.
Now, first question is, do I need any lights? I know they sell these like cheap ring lights that you put on a phone.
I wouldn't go that direction.
So no lighting.
The reason I say that is today, if you've got a decent phone in the last couple of years, lighting is covered.
Okay, so no lighting.
The only thing about lighting is don't shoot with the patient sitting in front of a window.
Okay.
Because the patient's probably going to be underexposed. There's going to be a lot of light coming in through the back window. Instead, switch places with the patient and have your back to the window. Beautiful natural light coming in and washing over the patient's face.
Or you can film it if that's not available at your office or something like that.
Yeah, but film them in the op, literally in the
Don't
chair.
have the light in their face.
Yeah, the light, when you start bringing out lights and a boom microphone and two other people come in to assist, now the patient starts getting a bit nervous.
When it's a production now.
It's a production now. Yeah. You pull out your phone and ask a couple questions, and then when you're done, say, Ms. Jenkins, thank you so much.
Okay.
We might, even if this helps one person make the decision to come in and get better care for their teeth and gums, then you and I both just won big.
Okay, good. So then what about microphones? You showed me something the other day, this really cool Bluetooth microphone.
This one is important.
Because this was the big issue with the iPhones. Like you said, the person filming can't make any noise because the mic is right there. But then you showed me the difference with that Bluetooth mic, and it just plugs into your iPhone.
It's amazing.
Into the charging port, I think, right?
Yeah, it goes straight into the bottom of the phone, and that they have them for both. And we could put links on these. There's ones for both Android, which is generally now a USB-C connection.
Okay.
And for Apple, which is still a Lightning port. And it just plugs straight into the bottom of that. And you open the little case, and you pull out the microphone and you clip it to the person's lapel or something close. And if they don't have clothing that even permits that, you just put it right next to them. You're generally filming about a few feet away, sometimes 5 feet away, and you got to drill in the background in another
Right.
operatory, and you got hard floors just because you want to be hygienic. And so you got heels clicking down, and these sounds are recorded better than voice sounds.
Because that makes sense.
So it's very hard to hear the patient sometimes. And you don't want that phone straight up in that patient's face. It's uncomfortable. It looks unnatural, and it puts the patient's attention on the phone. So you get this cheap microphone, $40 off Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden the sound is amazing. And I would say this today is that audio is actually more important than the quality of the video.
Yeah, I'd buy that.
Some of these people, and I'm that person, I'm that consumer. If I'm going to go spend money on buying a new TV or a new car or washer and dryer, I'm going to look into some reviews. I'm going to, what do people have to say about that service or that product? And I will search on YouTube for that. I'll press the video, but I might be multitasking while that video is playing. And I'll check in on that video if there's any point of interest along the way. But it's kind of happening over here on the left or, kind of in the background.
Sure.
The audio is vital. The video,
Because really there's not much going on in the video than the person sitting there and talking.
No, it's just verification that it's a real person.
Right.
And the person's kind of like me. And and I told you earlier, we touch on this point, bigger cases. Mm-hmm. Social proof on bigger cases is massive. Mm-hmm. If you want a $26,000 veneers case or a full arch case or 2 arches or 6 implants or 2 implants or, think about it. What's a lot of money to you personally? Can I ask you that question? So if I say, Jeff, mm-hmm. This product or service is X amount of dollars, where do you kind of go, no, I'm going to do some checking into reviews. For me, that number is about $150. If I'm going to spend $150 or more, I'm going to be checking into something. I can't let go of $150.
I guess it depends on what it is.
Yeah.
If it's a supplement, then I don't know. Depends. It really, if it's reasonably priced, no. I mean, obviously I'm going to look up if it's a major purchase, a car, a house, or even if I'm having somebody fix something on my house, sure. And I don't know a particular contractor for it, and the price seems exorbitant. I'm going to get several different quotes and I'm going to check reviews as well.
Most people feel the same way. Right. And so when you lay down in front of them and you know that's a reasonable price for 8 veneers. Mm-hmm. But think about that. 8 veneers and Zoom whitening. What's that going to cost?
That's going to cost me over $10,000.
Yeah. So you're talking about a person who probably doesn't see that price tag too often.
Right.
And this is a good time to now bring in 3 or 4 testimonial videos of people who've done veneers, their before and after cases, and that person just watch their shoulders relax. And and how long does a care credit application take? These are questions that come
When do
out.
I get my new veneers? Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, so we've done the video, right? So I've done this video. If I have before and after pictures, would I have my editor put those in the video as well?
Very important.
Okay, so this is how I look like before, and my teeth look horrible, blah, blah. Then we have a picture. And now they look great. Boom, picture, whatever, right? Yeah. So now we've done the video. I've got a video editor, whether it's somebody in my office or I've contracted out for somebody or I've gone to Fiverr to hire somebody or whatever. Right. This doesn't have to be expensive.
Not expensive.
So now I have a finalized video. This is what I wanted to ask you. Where am I putting that video? So you mentioned I'm putting it on my Google business page. I'm putting it on, I'm assuming on social media, right?
Facebook, Instagram.
And I have a release from this patient, obviously.
Correct.
Which again, don't forget, we put that as a download. Do check with your attorney. And I'm putting it on my website. So obviously my web developer is going to probably put it on the site, but where on the site is this going?
Great question. Definitely want a couple of those on the homepage down towards the bottom.
Okay, so this below the before and after photos, at the bottom of the page, we're going to have videos.
Correct. I would also have an additional page of patient testimonials for the website, and that's a collection of them kind of grouped by service. Mm-hmm. And then say I got this one from veneers. Mm-hmm. On my veneers services page, in addition to all the data about veneers, there should be some before and after photos on that page and a couple testimonials on that page for veneers. Similar for implants, similar for bonding for chipped and broken teeth.
So I'm going to have an implant page explains what implants are. Maybe there's even a video of me explaining what implants
100%.
are. And then below that, I have before and afters with implants. And then I have videos of patients who have had implants done and they're happy with them.
Sprinkled through that page, yeah.
Got it. Like kind of all over the page,
Sure.
different spots. Okay, good. So now, last question on this, if they want to level it up, because obviously if it's a 5-10 minute testimonial, I could have the whole video on the website, the webpage, YouTube, or whatever. Would I make shorts out of this? Would I put some of this on, like take shorts of it and put it on TikTok, shorten it down, have my editor do it? If I have a TikTok page or channel?
Yep. All of that is true. So if we're talking about a large case where, we're talking a $50,000, $60,000 treatment, which number of our clients do, right?
Yeah, with the big permanent implant denture stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in that case, yeah, that person is probably going to watch a 12-minute
That's true.
testimonial and the whole story and that sort of thing.
Or watch 10 minutes of 3 or 4.
That's
or
right.
5 minutes of 3 or 4.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So good to have that available. Yes, for social media, we have what's called the hook. Okay, in social media, when you're going through Instagram and you're going through Facebook or even YouTube now, you got to get there quick with your message. There is no, hi, my name's Dr. Williams. Right. I've got a patient. I'm out.
Yeah, it's funny. One thing we stopped in all our videos, well, you know this from years ago, we don't even say our name anymore. We just put it below our face, or below our, not our face, not on our face, but, instead of, it used to be, hi, I'm Jeff Bloomberg, blah, blah, blah. Now it's just I start talking and my name appears on screen. I don't have to like introduce myself every time.
Again, the consumer today, we're fast.
Yeah.
We're time bankrupt. We don't have time to be la-la'd around. It's just get to the point.
You got to say something that's interesting.
Right then and right there. And that's why you want to come in with that, So I came into ABC Family Dentistry, boom, before photo.
Right.
Right up on this. And the person goes, whoa.
Right.
And now that, that dissolves on the screen. And now you see it and you're like, wow, it looks quite a bit different. And, since coming in, now I have, boom, after photo coming big on the screen.
Well, and it creates interest. I want to know, what did they do to make them go from that photo to what they look like now as they're talking?
Got it.
Yeah.
That's marketing.
Yeah.
And that's marketing today. So different than what it was, 20 years ago. The first TV commercial ever was a refrigerator. 5 minutes long. 5 minutes long.
Madison Avenue hadn't figured out marketing
And
yet.
when you open the door, the light comes on. And when you close it, and I think people were probably fascinated with the idea of media, just in general.
Sure.
So commercial was exciting. And then a product that you didn't have to go to a store and see. Today, so fast.
That's true.
So fast.
Yeah, the attention span has gone down to pretty much next to nothing, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That's true. That's why, look at TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Those are a thing now.
But the magic is that from the people listening here, you don't need to worry about that. You just need to be connected to a marketing team that understands that. Your job, doctors, just grab the content. You're doing 99%. You're 99% of the way there. I'm just asking you to, at the end, get that quick video, get that review, get the before and after photo. We can now show you what to do with that to absolutely bring the confidence and comfort to the people considering you and your services if you just get the content.
Right. Yeah, because that's something that in order, again, this is just to validate what you're saying there. So if I'm the doctor, I'm right there with the patient, me or I have my office manager, we can do it right now.
That's right.
Versus if I have to bring in a whole marketing team to chase this person down, it becomes more intimidating. It's a whole thing. And really from a marketing perspective, that's 99% of the work. If I can give an editor all that content, they can carve it up into 20 different types of videos and I can use it 20, 30 different ways in a bunch of different places.
You got it.
But the heavy lifting is really just getting the video.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. And keep it simple. You're going to probably mess up the first few. You're going to hold the phone the wrong way. You're going to cover up the microphone. You're not going to get the remote microphone. You're going to cover up the microphone with your thumb when you're holding the phone.
Right.
It's going to sound a little bit muffled. You're going to have the schedule open in the background. We're going to have to kind of blur that out. Don't worry about that. All that stuff can be fixed in post, or, we don't use that testimonial. But there's a good chance with technology available today, we can salvage that with a couple few $100s from an editor, and you will be in shock with what impact that has on other people considering you, your service, that service specifically.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes sense. Makes sense. We've had a YouTube channel up. We were an early adopter, like 2013. I things. We put up our first video, and we're probably at 300-400 videos now, but these are not 2-minute, 7, 8, 10-minute videos. And we've probably gotten 20% of our customers from there. And it's just from this video they watched from 6 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, which is great. But it's cool because then people find it useful, people find it helpful, and you only really have to make it once, which is the best.
And it continues to work. And, you and I look at those videos and the quality and the technology, and we have a good laugh. But, people still to this day come into MGE and say, I've literally watched every one of your YouTube videos, which is, I think, over 350 now.
Is it really 350? I lost track.
Yeah. And, that's all done on their time. When they're good and ready. We've had people walking, this. We've had people come in and I've watched all your videos, your whole video YouTube channel, and I'm ready to start your program. The work was done in the background. Yeah. We'd never met them.
That's true. Absolutely. Well, Dan, this is awesome. And folks, what we'll do, I want to definitely first thank you for being here. And
my pleasure.
I guess if they have questions for you, if you wouldn't what's the best way? How would you want them to contact you?
Best thing to do is email me. So my email address is danb@mgeonline.com. So okay. Dan Brown, danb@mgeonline.com.
And we'll put that on the episode webpage as well. We have I have a link for the new patient workshop if you want to see Dan live. Dan does a lot or most of that seminar, as well as he's at a number of other seminars. And I'll put that on the episode webpage, as well as that HIPAA release. Again, you got to get that checked by your attorney because laws differ everywhere. But
sure, we put the links to these microphones.
Oh yeah, the Amazon stuff that you're recommending. Sure. We'll put those up as well. And I think that pretty much covers it. Is there any things you want to end off with, or
no? I could talk endlessly on this.
I know, but I just say do what you say. Like at least get started, right?
Yeah, start.
This is not optional anymore.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, good. All right, folks. Well, that's all we have for you this week. I hope it helps. Have a great week, and we will see you at the next episode.